A white teen laughs while filming a deaf black girl crying behind a dumpster, and she can't even hear him mocking her. If this already made your blood boil, tap like, and subscribe so you don't miss stories where justice finally wins. Lily didn't even understand why the boys were circling her. She only felt the vibration of footsteps behind her, the sudden shadow blocking the streetlight, and the cold shake in her chest when she saw their faces twist into cruel smiles. 8 years old, tiny, deaf since birth, and completely alone behind the restaurant where her mother worked overtime every night. Brandon, tall, white, blonde, hold his phone like a trophy, leaned close enough for her to smell the mint gum he kept chewing. "Look at her face," he laughed, lifting the camera. "She's crying like a broken toy." Lily's hands moved fast. Signing stop, signing please, signing why? But the boys, Ethan, Cole, and Ryan, laugh harder. "She can't hear a thing," Ethan smirked. "Say anything, she won't even know." Brandon zoomed in on her shaking hands. "Do that weird hand stuff again," he taunted. "It'll get more views." Lily backed up until her shoulders hit the metal dumpster, her breath sharp and fast. She tried to shout for her mother, but her voice didn't come out right. Not loud, not strong, just a trembling sound that made the boys laugh harder. Cole shoved her lightly. "Let's see if she screams." Lily stumbled, catching herself on the edge of the dumpster, her eyes filling again. She didn't understand the words, but she understood enough. They were enjoying her fear. Inside the restaurant, Keisha wiped down the counters, unaware of what was happening outside. She thought Lily was throwing away the trash like she always did. A simple task, something safe, something quick. But the moment she didn't see her daughter return, something tightened in her chest. Outside, Brandon lifted his phone to the sky dramatically. "Say cheese, little mute girl. TikTok is gonna love you." A final tear slid down Lily's face. And in that moment, Brandon captured a close-up that would soon explode across town. He didn't know it yet, but that single video was about to bring the wrong men straight to his door. But what the bullies didn't know, someone watching that video noticed something they never expected. If this happened in front of you, what would you do? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. And if you stand for fairness, hit subscribe. The video hit the internet like a spark on dry grass. Within minutes, it was reshared in local group chats, school pages, and late-night Facebook circles where gossip traveled faster than truth. People commented, argued, some laughed, some defended Lily, but most just scrolled past. Except one man. Malik Turner was sitting alone in his small apartment above his motorcycle garage when his phone buzzed with the clip. He almost ignored it. He'd seen enough cruelty in the world during his deployments. But the thumbnail stopped him cold. A little black girl with tears pouring down her face, cornered by white teens holding a camera. He pressed play. And the second he saw Lily's eyes, wide, shaking, full of that quiet kind of panic he'd seen only a few times in his life, he froze. He leaned forward, elbows on his knees, screen inches from his face. Those eyes, he had seen those eyes before. Not on her. On someone he had failed to save. Malik swallowed hard, breath catching in his throat. The room felt smaller. The noise from the garage downstairs faded. A memory pushed its way into the front of his mind. A memory he had spent years trying to bury. He replayed the clip. Once. Twice. A third time. Not because of the bullying. Not because of the racism. But because something in Lily's expression, the way her hands trembled, the way she pressed herself against a dumpster, the way she fought not to fall apart, reminded him of a moment he had lived through, a moment that still kept him awake at night. He closed his eyes. "Not again," he whispered. Malik opened the group chat with his old Marine brothers. His fingers hovered for a second, then typed one line. "Brothers, we have a child in danger." He hit send, and the first domino fell. Keisha knew something was wrong the moment she stepped into the alley. Lily wasn't crying loudly. She never could. But a mother knows the sound of her child breaking. When she saw her daughter curled against a dumpster, arms wrapped around herself, eyes red and swollen, Keisha dropped everything she was holding. She knelt fast, hands shaking as she signed. "What happened? Are you hurt? Talk to me, baby." Lily couldn't form a single sign. She pointed at the phone lying on the ground, still recording when Brandon tossed it aside. Brandon's friends had already run off, laughing like nothing mattered. Keisha picked up the phone and pressed the screen. The video played. Keisha's breath left her body. She felt the world tilt sideways as she watched Brandon zoom in on Lily's tears, Ethan mocking her trembling hands, Cole pushing her, Ryan calling her a broken toy. Every second stabbed deeper. When the clip ended, Keisha turned the phone around and stared at Lily's face, that small, trembling face, and something inside her cracked clean in half. She hugged her daughter so tightly Lily finally let out a silent sob against her chest. Inside the restaurant, Keisha tried to calm her trembling hands long enough to call her sister. But her phone vibrated before she could dial, notifications exploding. The video was already online. Hundreds of comments, most calling Lily names she couldn't bear to read. Some laughing, a few defending her, but none stopping the spread. By midnight, the clip had crossed the 10,000 view mark. When Keisha brought Lily home, the nightmare didn't stop. Lily refused to eat. She sat on the edge of her bed, rocking back and forth, the same motion she used during sensory overload. Keisha tried signing comforting words, but Lily didn't look up. Then the school called. Mrs. Turner. There had been concerns about Lily's involvement in an online incident. Keisha gripped the phone. Involvement? My daughter was attacked. Yes, but considering the attention it's getting, maybe she should stay home until things settle. They were punishing Lily, protecting the bullies. Again. Meanwhile, in another part of town, Brandon and his friends were celebrating the view count like champions. Brandon refreshed the numbers and grinned at the rapid climb. Bro, it's blowing up. People love this stuff, he laughed. What none of them realized was that Malik wasn't the only one watching the video now. Dozens of veterans were starting to see it too, and every one of them felt the same thing Keisha did. An anger that didn't fade, it gathered, because Malik wasn't just any viewer. He knew exactly how to make powerful boys face consequences they never imagined. If you believe talent can silence every insult, share this video. And to everyone watching from the US, UK, and Canada, your voice matters. Malik stared at the video one last time before locking his phone. His jaw twitched, not in anger. This wasn't the kind of fury that made men shout. This was the quiet kind that made men move with purpose. He stood from his chair, grabbed his worn leather jacket with the Marine Corps patch stitched on the back, and headed for the garage downstairs. The familiar smell of fuel and metal greeted him. His motorcycle, matte black, a machine built from equal parts steel and memory, waited like an old war buddy. He opened the group chat titled Iron Stallions, Veterans United. Dozens of names glowed on the screen. Brothers from every state. Men who once pushed through gunfire and desert storms, now scattered across civilian life, waiting for a mission meaningful enough to pull them together again. Malik typed, "We got a situation. A deaf black girl. Bullied. Filmed. Humiliated. Location attached." Within seconds, replies rolled in. Andre, who touched the kid? Terrell, on my way. Give me an hour. Xavier, got room on the truck. Bringing 3 more. Jalen, they picked the wrong child. Darius, send the video. Now. Malik shared the clip. What followed wasn't rage. It was silence, the deadly kind. Then, Rashad, this the same look your cousin had before she passed? Malik didn't respond. He didn't need to. These men knew his scars. He finally typed, "We move tonight. Don't engage the kids. Not yet. Gather. Observe. Document." He turned the key in his motorcycle, and the engine roared so loudly the windows rattled. The sound wasn't noise, it was a warning. Across 3 states, other engines began to answer. Meanwhile, the bullies had posted a new story. Round 2 tonight. We found where she lives. Malik's eyes narrowed. "What did you just sign your life over to, kid?" he muttered. He forwarded the threat to the group. This time, no one typed anything. They didn't have to. Every veteran who watched that story felt the same shift. This wasn't about a video anymore. This was an impending attack on a child. Malik strapped on his gloves, tightened the buckles, and slid down the visor of his helmet. "Keisha," Lily whispered, "you're not alone tonight." He kicked the stand up. The bike thundered, and the first move of the counterstrike began. Malik wasn't the only one monitoring the situation now. His message had spread to the Iron Stallions like wildfire, reaching men who hadn't ridden in months, some in years, but who suddenly found themselves lacing up boots and checking their gas tanks. By early evening, 30 veterans were already on the road. Inside a quiet apartment across town, another man was watching the video. Detective Marcus Hale, one of the few officers in the department who didn't bow to powerful families. He replayed the clip slowly, jaw clenching as he watched the cruelty unfold. He knew Brandon's father, Jason Walsh, a wealthy businessman whose influence controlled half the town. Bringing charges against his son wouldn't be simple. Cases like these had a way of getting lost before they ever reached the courtroom. Hale made a few quick notes, then saved the video to a secure drive. He wasn't supposed to act without a formal complaint. But he also wasn't stupid. If the stallions were moving, something big was coming. Across the neighborhood, Keisha was still pacing the living room, unable to sit. Lily sat curled up on the couch, arms wrapped tight around a pillow, eyes fixed on the door as if expecting someone to break through it again. Keisha checked her phone. Dozens of missed calls, hundreds of notifications, and messages from strangers saying awful things. Others offered support, but it all blurred together. Then her phone buzzed with something new. A screenshot. Brandon's friends were planning to come to her house. They had posted a story laughing about round 2. Keisha's heart dropped. She locked the doors, closed the curtains, turned off the lights. Lily tapped her leg, signing with shaking hands. "Mom, are they coming?" Keisha forced a smile she didn't feel. "No, baby. I won't let anything happen to you." But inside, she felt the truth clawing at her chest. She was completely alone. At that same moment, 20 miles out of town, Malik pulled over beneath a street lamp. 3 trucks and 7 motorcycles stopped behind him. The men climbed out. Terrell, Deshaun, Jalen, Andre, all silent, all focused. Malik raised his phone. "The boys are planning to show up at the girl's house. We intercept before they get near her. No violence. No threats. Cameras on at all times. We let the law take the lead." Darius stepped forward. "And if the law doesn't..." Malik stared at the dark road ahead. "Then we become the law." The men nodded, no questions asked. Further downtown, Detective Hale walked into the station and quietly pulled a file on Jason Walsh, Brandon's father. Allegations, favors, bribes, cases that magically disappeared. He clenched his jaw. If these boys showed up at Keisha's door, all of that would come crashing down. He grabbed his jacket. Tonight wasn't going to end clean, but he damn well wasn't going to let it end wrong. By the time Malik and the veterans rolled toward Riverside Avenue, the bullies were already in their father's truck, laughing, filming, and speeding straight toward a child they thought was helpless. They had no idea how wrong they were. Brandon slowed his father's truck 2 houses down from Keisha's place, headlights off, phone camera already running. Ethan adjusted his hoodie. Cole held a flashlight under his chin like a horror prank, and Ryan whispered, "Dude, imagine her face when she can't hear us at the door." They stepped out, laughing quietly, filming every step like celebrities on a mission. But halfway up the sidewalk, the ground began to vibrate. A low thunder rolled through the street. Brandon frowned. "What the hell is that?" Headlights appeared at the end of the block. Not 1, not 2, 12. 12 motorcycles and 3 trucks crawled forward in formation, engines rumbling like a warning from the earth itself. Every rider wore the Iron Stallions patch, black, gold, unmistakable. Ethan's voice cracked. "Bro, that's not for us, right?" Malik stopped at the curb, flipped his visor up, and stared straight at the 4 boys. No yelling, no threats, just a slow walk forward, boots hitting pavement with a rhythm that made the teens back up instinctively. Brandon tried to keep filming, but his hand was shaking so badly the camera bounced. Malik stopped inches from him. "You came to terrorize a deaf 8-year-old girl," he said calmly. "So now you answer to us." He held up his phone. Smile. You're live. Suddenly, all the veterans lifted their phones too. Bright screens aimed at the boys. Every angle covered. Every breath recorded. What are you doing? Brandon snapped, voice cracking. You can't. Terrell cut him off. Son, you've been recording kids without consent all day. Now the camera's on you. Ethan tried stepping back, but Malik raised a hand and the riders spread out, creating a half circle that blocked every escape. Then headlights flashed again, police cars turning onto the street. Detective Hale stepped out first. Brandon Walsh, Ethan Carter, Cole Bradley, Ryan Mason. He read the names slowly, deliberately. You are all under investigation for cyber harassment, endangering a minor, attempted intimidation, and trespassing. Brandon spun toward him. My dad will. Your dad, Hale said, lifting a folder, is currently being questioned about tamper reports and witness intimidation. So no, he won't be helping you tonight. Cole started crying. Ryan dropped his phone. Ethan muttered, We were just messing around. Malik stepped closer. You don't get to mess around with a child's trauma. Today, you learn what consequences feel like. As police officers cuffed the boys, neighbors stepped outside, filming, whispering, watching the reversal unfold. Brandon's live stream, the one he forgot to turn off, now showed his own panic to thousands. Chad from school commented, Not laughing now, huh? Another viewer wrote, Justice hits different when it's your turn. The officers guided the boys into the patrol cars. Malik turned to the veterans. Secure the perimeter until Keisha and Lily wake up. No one scares them tonight. The men nodded and took positions on the block. Silent, steady, immovable. Inside the patrol car, Brandon looked out the window, eyes wet, lips trembling. He finally understood what Lily felt behind that dumpster. Helpless, small, exposed. Justice had arrived, and it filmed everything. 6 months passed, but the memory of that night stayed etched into Riverside like a scar. The recording of the boys crying in the back of the patrol car went viral far, beyond anything they had ever hoped to achieve. Their old videos vanished, replaced by clips of their own downfall, stitched, reshared, and replayed millions of times. Brandon transferred to a community school 2 towns over. He walked the halls quietly now, backpack low, eyes down, avoiding whispers. His father's business contracts were suspended pending investigation, and suddenly the boy who mocked a child's silence now lived inside a home where silence felt like punishment. Ethan, Cole, and Ryan faced mandatory counseling and juvenile service. All 4 boys were banned from social media for a year. Their reputations, once inflated with bravado, now reduced to reminders of what cruelty looks like when the world finally pushes back. But Lily's world was changing too, in all the right ways. The Iron Stallions didn't disappear after that night. Every Saturday morning, their bikes rumbled gently down Riverside Avenue. Not in anger, but in honor. Lily sat on the porch with Keisha, watching them roll by, smiling in a way she hadn't smiled for months. The veteran signed hello to her every time, hands moving clumsily but with heart. Malik began visiting twice a week, teaching her small defensive habits, how to read danger, how to stay aware without fear. He wasn't trying to make her tough. He was helping her feel unbreakable. One afternoon, she tapped his arm and signed, "Why did you help me?" Malik took a long breath. "Because once someone needed me and I wasn't there, I won't let that happen again." Keisha stood in the doorway, listening, her eyes soft. For the first time since the video, she felt safe. Not because the world had changed, but because the right people were finally standing beside her. As the sun dipped behind the houses, Lily climbed onto Malik's bike, the engine humming beneath her, and signed one small sentence that made him pause. "I'm not scared anymore." Malik smiled beneath his helmet. "Good. That means we did our job." The engine roared to life, and they rode forward, not away from the past, but toward a future where Lily's silence wasn't weakness. It was strength the whole town could hear. If you believe stories like this should never be forgotten, share this video and subscribe for more dark truths.